That game against Willie O'Connor in the semi-finals last year, they both averaged under 90, and there was a lot made of Danny's average in the final of 84, which was the lowest average to win a UK Open in the history of the tournament. But sometimes you do find, and we found this with Aspinall against Cross a few years ago, it's not about quality in the final, it's about winning the key moments, and averages mean 0. He has to go for the bull this time. And pings it for 3-1. The defending champion looks in pretty good nick.
2 up against Adam Gavlas. So a really good opportunity for all 4 of those players. O'Connor going through the gears now. Looking very handy for a break of throw.
Is he going to stay there? Yeah, I like that play a lot. That's a great shot. Is this as good? Beautifully done to get that break and throw, and O'Connor puts the pendulum back towards himself.
Sort of cultured.
What can he leave from here? He'd love to leave 65.
That'll do though, because Noppert's on a bogey number. All about the setup. Cross to treble 18. Just taking his time to ponder.
98. Will he require 105?
We saw some game-changing shots yesterday towards the end of the first session in best of 19 darts from Rob Cross. Can we see something akin to that from O'Connor?
85.
Not far away from the target. So for a level game at the break. Well, I'm sure he was going for the 16 then, but tops he wants. Tops he doesn't get.
Will he require 20?
What a turnaround for Willie. 10s for a 2-leg cushion. Takes it. And I think Danny Noppert knows right now that this guy is going to be very, very tough to beat this afternoon.
Doesn't look like he's going to relent too much.
I think O'Connor as well is tuned into this tournament to the effect that he wants to put his foot down for the entirety of it. He's not going to relent, to use your word, Dan, at any point. You've got to keep your concentration from start to finish in these matches, because you can be swept aside by the brilliance of these players at times.
Well, he was seeking treble 7. He was also seeking the single 14. He didn't get either. Sloppy from Noppert. And it doesn't really matter right now, as O'Connor is on a finish, but Noppert for a break back after the break. This would be a good start.
Not so sloppy from Noppert. He's got a bit of a ring to that, Dan. Might catch on.
Yeah, he's almost the 2023 version of Josh Rock right now, playing excellent darts, just not really picking up results in the first part of the year, that is. Brutal from O'Connor.
Danny's waiting for an opening, but I'm not 100% certain he's going to get one.
Will he require 20?
And he's not getting one in this leg. 2 more holes for O'Connor will get him through. You hate losing when you've played bad. Sometimes you can accept a loss if you've played well and your opponent has played just a little bit better. But you hasten to say that Danny Noppert must, I was just going to say he must hit this, but he's not going to. O'Connor now gets the opening to stretch the lead.
Had to go within 1 leg of victory. 2 at double 16. The grimace on the face. Next door.
26.
Well, that's a big missed opportunity. One that he could come back and regret.
Game shown with 16 leg.
He's had his chance, and Noppert is burning lives here. This is aggressive. Could have gone to the 19s and used the bull at the end of that combination to try and leave 170 or better. But 134 is marginally easier than a 170. Forget about Magpie. That was an eagle-eyed look at that treble 20 from O'Connor.
Two tops. There's one. Oh, that might be the checkout of the tournament so far. That is absolutely sensational. And that is why Danny Noppert is a major champion.
They're both averaging over 100 at this point. Neither player, you could argue, deserves to go home. But this is top-level darts in 2023. Someone may have to leave with a 3-figure average, having gotten 9 legs.
Yeah, I think if this was a boxing match, the loser would be invoking the rematch clause. I think I'd be calling for that as well. It's looking really, really good.
Whatever happens here, same place, same time, next year. But who is going to win the second battle of the trilogy? This is so hard. But it's in! What a shot from Willie O'Connor!
Her visit might not be enough. Oh, that's inviting.
It's got to be a 140. And it is. That puts so much more pressure on Noppert now, because now he feels he's got to get to 121.
He's just got to get to a finish now, but he's not going to. Willie O'Connor will fancy 6 from 176.
Might even get it in 4.
It's so, so good. Under the most extreme pressure in a last leg decider.
In the first games of the day, we could lose the Iceman and the freeze.
60.
Things have warmed up here, and it's time for the Magpie to soar if he hits double 9.
One chance, and he takes it. And Willie O'Connor does have his revenge on Danny Noppert. He was heartbroken in the semi-final of the tournament last year, but O'Connor in a magnificent Stage 2 battle, averaging over 101.
Not me. Great order for Gary, as he has a little glance at a 161. It was just saying hello on the way through.
Yeah, I quite like that, almost. Let's have a laugh to start the game off with. 161, go on then.
You can just kiss off that one into the double 15 like that. Looks assured, and Kim cannot afford a slow start here. I think it's very fair to call Gary a veteran. But now that we're calling Kim a veteran, I'm not sure how he would take that. So maybe it's better coming from me, one of his old adversaries. I wrote an article recently about the people that I disliked playing the most in my career. And Kim was quite offended that I didn't put him in my top 5. I did assure him, though, on social media that he will be part of my book one day. But I just wonder if Kim is going to be part of the next round, because Anderson is starting to knit together a performance which is making this very difficult for Kim.
Rock and Andy Bolton, so Dolan a master of the floor events. Anderson a master of the bull, maybe.
He is getting annoyed at missing the bull so many times. And it's a good sign. Because if he really wants to see that bullseye hit, it's showing desire. It's another brilliant marker. And another brilliant hit. Another break of throw. To be up at the break by 6.
64.
I think it's fair to say that if Kim doesn't hit this, he might be out within about 10 minutes. That's including the break time. He's been outclassed so far.
He might not fancy coming back if Anderson pins this, which he does. It's class from Gary Anderson. Launching the darts now.
May just be a matter of seconds before this one's over.
60.
Players will always put whatever they have into a possible comeback, but when you've got to win 8 straight legs against one of the greatest players of all time, who is averaging mid-90s, it's a very tough ask, especially when Anderson's got 6 from 145 to get the whole thing done.
Will he do it in style for a 145?
125.
I thought we were going to have 145 in game then.
So did I.
140.
But we have double 10 and game.
This would be a little bit more regulation. Double 5.
15.
Finish line itis from Gary Anderson, and in a leg where Kim Huybrechts started with a visit of 29. He doesn't go on and win it just yet, but 5 is tricky.
5.
Double 2. To be through. He may not be happy with the performance, and maybe the result was quite flattering, but ultimately Kim Huybrechts in that match only got 4 shots at a double.
He mounted a comeback in the Grand Prix, but was just too far away from MVG to get a poke at the title. But this is a venue that will hold many happy memories for the ASP. A 170 checkout to win a title. It's not something you see very often.
134.
You might see an early break of throw for Bergh here. Over to double 16. Commanding stuff.
That's a bad sign for Nathan, because when you see that from your opponent in leg 1, you think he might be on his A+ stuff today.
Share your magic, Bergh.
You were saying?
2180s, we're going to beat that. I'm going to lay my cards down now.
Yeah, but is it going to be a 4-2 lead? We talked about his doubling, and on the ball, the line was so good. If this goes, we may just get our first fist pump and a little bit of adrenaline from the ASP. Double 16. Pause for effect. And the hit. We may just be having a bit of a marathon.
The beaten Burnett duel could still be on.
No, Rob Cross doesn't hope so. Bit of a look behind him from Bergh in the previous visit. I did say during our first match of the day between Noppert and Willie O'Connor that when these fans get a little bit more boisterous, they may make their presence felt a little bit more.
Nathan, you require 140.
Well, this would be a proper haymaker. Oh yes, double 10. Oh yes, indeed.
That's how you beat Dirk van Dijvenbode in this 1500 meter style race to 10.
It's a good marker. Oh, now it's tricky. He's going to have to take a step to the right, I think.
That was because of dart 2. If this goes, we just wipe the slate clean and we do best of 9 when we come back.
Just for a hold. It's not going to go.
95. Nathan, require 40.
Does he complete it this time? Same marker. Double 10. And this time he can't find it. He found it for a 140 finish earlier. In a previous leg, he missed it by nearly an inch. But that time, it gives him a 6-4 lead going into the break. If you were to ask him right now what was the scoreline, he'd say, I can't remember, because he's too busy focusing on the future.
89.
Good setup from Bergh with Aspinall well down in this leg, so exactly the start to the the second half that Dirk would have wanted if he pins tops.
That was such an interesting approach, wasn't it? He trims the 19 off, then goes treble 18, single 16 for tops. Maybe no other player in the top 100 in the world would have done that. But he thinks just a little differently.
Nathan, you require 136.
Well, this would be a steal. Staring down the treble 20. Just has to leave it handy now.
16. Dirk, you require 40.
Aspinall had his trials on double top in leg 10.
Game shot in the 11th
Van Dijvenbode doesn't have any trials in the second visit at tops. So there is that break of throw, and all of a sudden we're back on the throw. 60 leaves tops.
65.
Aspinall is not quite out of this leg yet. If he can find a maximum, his 7th, it would have left him in a similar vicinity as Dirk.
60.
Well, 80 can be tricky, but Van Dijvenbode has the luxury of 2 visits.
Could even go 16s if he wants. We're seeing this a lot more these days. For people who like the 32 bed, with an opponent on something like 204, they will go the 16s route. It basically takes the bust shot out of commission. That's why I like it.
Dirk, you require 32. Game
We're now
shot in the
best of
16th
3.
leg. Dirk Van Dijvenbode.
Right, look at the bull here.
99.
I wouldn't have been surprised to see him go for the bull of the 25 there, but he reckons he's going to get 6 darts from 62, and he's right.
Nathan, you
Yeah, I think because he was so
62.
far in front, he could afford to have a go at the treble 19. It's going to be treble 10. 20 for 16. He loves it down here.
30.
Miss when you can afford to, and when the pressure's on, hit. That's what elite players do. Another?
140.
He may need to keep those in reserve for the next couple of legs, because he needs to win them both. But here's the thing, we might not even go to leg 19.
Nathan Aspinall, favourite to win this leg.
100.
Well, he still fancy his chances with 86.
He's had the wood on Van Dijvenbode the last 3 times they've played, and he's within 2 darts of winning a 4th straight match against Dirk. But most importantly, this is to be in the draw for the last 16.
2 match darts incoming. Nathan Aspinall only needs 1. And that was an absolute cracker on stage 2. Exactly what we want to see. And there's the fire from the Asp.
Lost in 2 Lakeside finals to Tony David and Andy Fordham. And quite a few other finals in the PDC as well. I'd say for the amount of talent that Mervyn has or has had, maybe 2 or 3 titles have been left on other people's mantelpieces.
For the amount of dedication that he puts into the game as well, you'd maybe expected him to scoop one of the big pots, but he could scoop the first leg here. Treble 14, now 20 for tops. It's a good start for Mervyn King.
That's a bed that he's really improved at over the last couple of years.
That's the baby fish. This could be the big fish. Reel it in by the coast. Fortunately not now, and that's a pretty poor last start. Doesn't matter too much. King's on 201.
The combatants from this afternoon are guaranteed £5,000 for their efforts. If you make it through to tonight, you can double it.
54. Dimitri require
They all have
86.
ambitions of being here on Sunday, where there will be quarterfinals tomorrow afternoon, semi-finals and final tomorrow night.
$78. Mervyn, you require 147.
Oh, Mervyn's got a channel. He's in a Ronnie O'Sullivan. Take out 147. That's good. Well, at least he's got one in the treble. Yeah, that's really well tidied up. He'll be annoyed at the second dart, but that's as good as he could have been with that dart in between.
That's plan B. If he wasn't going to hit it, he had to leave it small. You won't be too perturbed by that one, Mervyn. And Peter Wright and Callan Ridds on the main stage are just getting going. They have to wait until all of the games are done before the draw is done. It's not like the FA Cup sometimes where you have to play such and such or such and such.
Yeah, we don't have replays. And can you imagine if we did?
I'll have a replay of Aspinall, Dirk van Duijvenbode, please.
Make that 2.
What, you want 2 replays?
Yes.
Well, what's happening to Vandenberg's scoring here? Because for the second consecutive leg,
45.
he's allowed Mervyn to canter to a finish.
He's looked... Well,
I
I was going to make the point that he's looked slightly flat this game. I thought he was about to hit a 180 and give me the metaphorical middle finger.
Double 5. And Mervyn's feeling a little bit more bumpy now because he's got the lead for what feels like the first time in forever. It's all about clattering with the flight. It's nothing to do with the board. But that shot there, it's just because the dart gets a hold of the previous piece of equipment and just the momentum is all taken by that shot. It happens.
Devilish 128 gets the single. Well, once again, the second dart's sloppy, but once again, he rescues the shot with a really good dart. Might be all in vain, though. To go into the break level.
57.
Oh, what an invitation this is for Mervyn King. He's yet to play his best stuff in this game. But he is taking his opportunities.
32.
But doesn't take this one.
Correction, was taking his opportunities. So Bergh will get 3 more pops at double 12. Only needs 1. Well, the averages.
If I remember rightly, it was a very famous game he had with Raymond van Barneveld where he was not happy with the crowd. Often forgotten that he's made a Premier League final as well. Lost out to James Wade in his only Premier League title win back in 2009.
Well, I mean, you look at Merv's CV, it's just runner-up, 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 semi-final, semi-final.
122.
In a similar vein to players like Terry Jenkins and Dave Chisnell, they've just never had that elusive one. Double 7 for Vandenbergh. Oh, it's fantastic. Nothing flat about that. Maybe the Dreammaker will be sparked into life.
At first he was going to go for the 60, but then realised that going 19s to 18s to leave the finish was probably the best option for him. It did pay off eventually a little bit, but Dimitri's in the better position with the throw, and it is against the throw as well.
So come on, Merv, 3 balls.
He does look tempted.
I mean, he went treble 13 for 99.
Nope, he's not going to do it. No, it was in his mind. We were reading his mind, and he's just going to hit it anyway on 2 treble 20s and double 15. All of this! Oh!
140.
You could hear his thoughts. He was thinking, am I going 19s? No.
It's like
treble 20.
we were the speech bubble above his head.
Well, if there was a comic book for Mervyn King, I'd buy it. What's on the next page, Mervyn? You're now 2 behind.
you require 107.
Oh, we have a big fish, baby fish scenario. Wants to save the match, wants to take the match.
Couple of baby fish now.
30.
Oh, that's good. Bullseye.
105.
Can Dimitri do what Mervyn couldn't?
130.
To bring the guillotine down. He needs another one of those. For double 5.
And Dimitri Bergh can't seal his place in the last 16 just yet anyway. 25 shots, the bread and butter for many darts players' practice. That's what happens when you put the hours in. Tough slog so far on the Pro Tour.
There's a lot to come up as well. Players' Championships in Germany coming up. Qualifiers for further European Tour events, which will be immensely important for Mervyn for his ranking position and to have a chance of making the European Championship later in the year.
151. Just tee it up.
Well, he had a crack at this in the previous leg and missed it on the bull. But on that occasion, his opponent was on 130. It's double 5. The match continues. He still believes, so maybe we should too. Opportunity for Bergh to close the door.
All of a sudden he's drifting.
You require 62.
Simple combination, treble 10, double 16. He loves this.
46.
Well, for a man who usually pins a lot of his hopes on double 16, that was pretty wild.
Yeah, that wasn't a good dart from Mervyn. This tournament has been won before on this checkout by Robert Thornton 11 years ago. But it doesn't get the job done for Dimitri. That was a tremendous last dart. Is it to no avail? This is monstrous. To stop Dimitri from getting a match dart.
No score.
He may be saying between his ears right now, oh no.
Split or straight at it? Has to be a split now. 1 at double 8.
22.
We go on.
Mervyn, you require 16.
He's had some sighters at it. He does not want to have to go to the right-hand side of the oche again. It's the right-hand side of the board.
8.
Well, well, well. Just when we thought the comeback was on,
16.
the whole thing may be off.
More match darts incoming.
Get shot.
Dimitri Bergh does it first time of asking. He completes this stage 2 session this afternoon